There's something about mornings like this, mornings wrapped in dim light and silence, that make the truth louder than usual. Before the world wakes up, before the notifications start, before you remember who you're supposed to be today, you're just here. In this kitchen, in this quiet, in this soft, low light. And sometimes that's when God speaks the clearest. Not through thunder, but through the way your breath slows, the way your thoughts settle, the way your spirit leans in without you telling it to. Something in you is shifting, softly, quietly, like God rearranged the furniture of your soul while you slept. Not to unsettle you, but to make space for something you don't even know you were praying for yet. Watch how morning comes alive in pieces. Nothing dramatic, nothing rushed. The kettle hums with that first soft vibration. A pan breathes, warm before it hisses. The air changes temperature before the room does. Even the light doesn't arrive, it sneaks in. We forget this. We expect transformation to be sudden, loud, obvious. But from the beginning of creation, God showed us the truth. He builds in layers. He forms slowly. He reveals gently. Formless and void didn't mean chaos. It meant readiness. A canvas that only He understood. Maybe the empty part of your life isn't a sign that something broke. Maybe it's a sign that something is being prepared, quietly, carefully, in a way you'd miss if you weren't in the stillness of a morning like this. Grace always begins in places we think are barren, where no one applauds, where no one notices, where only God knows what's forming underneath the surface. And sometimes the quiet transformation is the deepest kind. There are mornings when you stand in your kitchen and feel like you've entered a life you didn't recognize. Not because something catastrophic happened, not because something inside you feels different, not wrong, just unfamiliar. You prayed for clarity and you received quiet. You prayed for direction and received waiting. You prayed for breakthrough and received a truth that stung before it softened. And it's confusing because you've been faithful, you've been hopeful, you've been trying. But here's the part no one explains. God's mercy doesn't always look like yes. Sometimes it looks like a door gently closing, a timeline shifting unexpectedly, a relationship fading slower than you wanted, a plan unraveling at the seams. It feels cruel in the moment. It feels like loss. It feels like God withholding. But look closely. Sometimes the no is the safest place God can put you. Sometimes the delay is the protection. Sometimes the unexpected halt is God keeping you from a future that would have overwhelmed you. God rearranges your life the way He rearranges the sky, quietly, then all at once. And you don't notice the shift. until one day you wake up, look around, and realize you're standing in a completely new season. Every morning has a moment when time feels suspended. The coffee sits without moving. The spoon rests against the cup. The air feels thicker. Even your thoughts float instead of race. This is the still point, the breath before the day exhales. And spiritually, this is often where God works most intimately. We expect Him to speak loudly, dramatically, with signs we can't miss. But more often, He speaks in the in-between spaces, the quiet between your thoughts, the softness after you breathe out, the gentle weight that settles in your chest for no obvious reason. He brings forward the wounds you hid from yourself, not to break you, but to finally heal what your busy life never allowed you to face. Stillness is not the absence of movement. Stillness is the presence of God. And some seasons of your life will only make sense in hindsight when you realize He wasn't ignoring you. He was quietly tending to the wounds you didn't even know you were carrying. People romanticize surrender. They make it sound gentle and easy. But surrender feels like letting go of the version of yourself that learned to survive. It feels like releasing timelines you built to protect your hope. It feels like laying down identities you worked hard to maintain because they made you feel safe. It feels like watching a chapter close before you feel ready to turn the page. Surrender feels like dying inwardly, not painfully, but truthfully. Ego dying, old wounds loosening their grip, old dreams losing their shine, old expectations dissolving. But the breaking is not punishment, it's alignment. God cannot fill a clenched hand. He cannot heal a heart behind armor. He cannot guide someone who is still gripping their own map. Surrender is the moment you stop resisting the life He has been trying to give you. It is when you whisper, "Okay, Lord, rearrange what you must," and you mean it, because somewhere deep inside, you're finally ready for something new to live in you. Look at your life with gentler eyes. The storms that felt like punishment shaped you. The delays that felt like denial protected you. The heartbreaks that felt like endings redirected you. The lonely seasons that felt like abandonment prepared you for a relationship your heart can now hold without breaking. The moments you feared God was silent were actually moments He was building foundations deep enough to hold the future He had planned. Every unanswered prayer was answered protection. Every closed door was His hand on the handle saying, "No, this is not where you're meant to stay." Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Nothing was overlooked. Grace has been arranging your life with more precision than you ever imagined. God wasn't late. He was exact. So as you finish your breakfast, as the warmth fills the room, as the morning settles into your bones, remember, you are not lost. You are being reordered. You are not behind. You are being rebuilt. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. God isn't undoing your life. He's reshaping it into something marked more by His hands than by your fears. Let Him rearrange you. Let Him steady you. Let Him remake you, morning by morning, grace by grace.